ain't easy, but we make it easier, hopefully. Hey, Positeers, we are back yet again. It's early in the morning, it's raining outside, but it is lit in here because we are living life without strife. 101, Episode 6, Season 1, Health Over Wealth, Stick and Strive, Navigating Life's Field. As you know, it's your host, Nikki C, for sure. And we have our special guest of the late morning, number 10, number 74, number 5, midfield martyr, general of the field and beyond, former choir killer, model general assembly acer, Tessa Bai. That's her last name. So let's get a little background on Tessa. Tessa, you're a junior in high school. Tell us about what sports you've played, where you play them, how long you played them.
Okay, so my name's Tessa. I've been playing field hockey since 8th grade, and I used to play lacrosse too, and I played for 2 years. I played for my freshman year and my sophomore year. I also played club field hockey for next level field hockey, and I've been playing that since I think my freshman year or sophomore year.
And so a lot of people don't know too much about lacrosse and field hockey. So could you give us a quick summary of field hockey and even quicker summary of lacrosse?
Okay, yeah, so field hockey is pretty much like soccer, if you know. So there's two sides, two goals, and each team is defending their goal. And basically you use the stick, and you can only use one side of the stick to try and score on the other team's goal. And there's a lot of like little rules that go along with it too. The ball can't touch your feet, and there's a lot of just kind of small rules. And for lacrosse, it's kind of in a sense like basketball, where you're defending the two goals, but there's a circle around the goal, and you kind of like rotate the ball around the circle to score. Lacrosse is a little more complicated in a way. It's like basketball, where you switch sides and you're around the goal in a circle.
Got it. I'm a little more confused now, but let's get going. So, let's start off strong. What initially sparked your passion for field hockey and or lacrosse, or even sports in general, and how has it influenced your approaches to challenges and new things in life?
Oh yeah, so I've always kind of started off playing sports. I played soccer from an early age, and then COVID hit, so I kind of stopped playing soccer and I was out of a sport. And I really wanted to pick something back up, so I decided to start playing field hockey at like the end of 8th grade when we were kind of coming out of COVID. And that was a big challenge for me, starting a new sport, especially I started at WNL, and like that was my first team.
How did you play at the end of the year of 8th grade?
It was like in the middle. It was kind of like more towards the end. We played with masks outside. It was during the spring. They kind of switched our seasons, and we started playing during the spring.
So usually, to clarify, field hockey is in the fall, correct?
Yeah, field hockey is typically
but
in the
COVID
fall.
kind of
COVID like messed
switched
it
everything
all
up.
Yeah. Okay, so after I started playing my 8th grade year, it was pretty challenging, and because I didn't know the sport, and I was like a new beginner in a new setting, so that was an obstacle I had to overcome. But overall, I think it was a really good experience, and it helped. It just like helped boost my mentality for sports overall, and that's why I started playing lacrosse the next year, because I gained confidence from field hockey, from it being so much fun. I wanted to try something new.
And so, could you talk about first, what was your specific experience during COVID? How did that really influence your sports journey with field hockey?
So COVID was a like really big challenge for me, especially like for my sports aspect, because we had to play with masks on, which was a really big challenge because you couldn't like really breathe and run around in a mask, and our practices all had to be masked. So it was really challenging for me in that aspect, because I like wearing a mask while playing a sport can be like physically tasking a little bit, because you can't breathe as well. Like it's harder to run. You have to like follow by all these regulations as well. So that was a challenge I definitely had to overcome while playing field hockey.
And did it become a lot easier in freshman year? Did you have to wear masks too?
We didn't have to wear masks while we were playing sports freshman year, but we did have to take precautions like checking our temperature before we entered practice and making sure we filled out these questionnaires about like not having seen someone in the past 48 hours like with COVID.
Interesting. And how would you say that the start of high school kind of connected with your sports journey? So you came out of COVID, you had just started doing field hockey, and you just went right into kind of like doing sports freshman year.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try something new because I was overall just in a new setting. I had just come out of like not seeing anyone for a few years and it was a new high school, like new beginning. So that's kind of why I did lacrosse too, was because some of my friends were doing it and I wanted to try something new. And I really had a lot of fun when I played field hockey. So I felt that I would have a lot of fun playing lacrosse too.
Can you talk about the levels at which you played both of them throughout your high school career?
Yeah, so for field hockey on eighth grade and freshman year, I played on the freshman team. Then sophomore year, I was on JV, but I got moved up to varsity. And then I played.
Snaps of that.
I played varsity for my junior year and probably my senior year too. And for lacrosse, I played on JV as a freshman, and then my sophomore year, I played on varsity.
So a talented repertoire of sports experience. So let's get into it. So you're a junior right now.
Mm-hmm.
You still have senior year, but how would you reflect on your field hockey and lacrosse experience, especially now that you're not doing lacrosse anymore, as I'm aware? Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, but kind of your overall experiences with them.
Okay, so I had a really positive experience with field hockey. I loved the team. The whole environment was just overall really positive and like a fun experience for me, especially because I play club field hockey too now, so it's kind of fun like being able to like play at like a higher level. And for lacrosse, I also really enjoyed the team experience. I thought it was very fun, but it's not my main sport and it was really time consuming and taking up a lot of my time, so I had to step away because I wanted to focus more on my schoolwork and other things, and I didn't really have a lot of time if I was playing lacrosse, and I mainly like picked it up as something fun like to do in my free time. But now that I don't have a lot of free time, I had to step away, which was kind of a hard decision for me because I really enjoyed playing and I loved the team, but I just like had to pick between school and sports, and at the end of the day, I had to side with school.
So kind of like the combination of junior year, wanting to go further with the next level of field hockey,
Yeah.
aka your club. That kind of just combined, not having enough time.
Mm-hmm.
How would you look back on your lacrosse kind of high school career? Were you like a star? Were you? How do you look back at it? Do you have any specific memories, successes, failures?
I wouldn't say I was like a big lacrosse star because I just started playing recently, but I had a lot of fun playing lacrosse. I had a lot of successes. I really grew as a player, and I think overall it was a really good experience for me, and it was trying something new, which was something really good that I think was good for me to do.
That's awesome. It takes a lot of courage to try a new high school sport. Most people might be too scared, but the byway, just slay through. How would you say lacrosse and field hockey communities, are they different? Are they similar? Or are they this type of community that's just on the field? Are they off the field friendships and connections? Are there any specific spirit traditions throughout either sports?
Okay, so both sports are kind of similar in the way that all the girls are friends on and off the field. Especially for field hockey, though, all of us we'd go get team breakfast after our morning practices. We'd all like go over to Chesapeake Bagel and go get a bite to eat in the morning. And for lacrosse, we pretty much do the same thing, except we'd have later night practices and we'd have dinner after the practices. And all the girls were just really good friends, and it was a really good team aspect. Sometimes there were like cliques among the team though, because people who were already friends from high school, like just becoming like better friends on the field.
And then would you say there's any specific spirit either? Like I know I play Ultimate Frisbee, and after each game we have a thing called the Spirit Circle. I'm Spirit Captain, unofficially last year and officially this year, and we go around and give compliments and give out like stickers and snacks and like compliment each other. And I think that's Ultimate Frisbee specific. Is there any specific? I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. traditions to field hockey or lacrosse?
Yeah, so during field hockey season and during lacrosse season, we have stick sisters where we get, for every home game, we get each other a gift or like a mini like snack or Gatorade or something, and we give it to the other players, kind of like a good luck for your game. And as well for field hockey, we had little circles right before our games where we'd each go around and say something like we were something positive about like that we were just looking forward to for the game. Like for example, you could be like something you're going to improve on. Like I really want to do this well. I really want to play like to your fullest potential today during this game. And then another thing that we had during field hockey season as well was we had dance circles right before our games where we'd get really hype and we'd run around in like a little dance circle and like pump, and everyone would like pump up, and it was just like really good.
Do you like run around as you dance, like running in circle and dancing, or are you all in the circle dancing, just like stationary? Like, how does that?
We kind of all like circle up, and then one person's in the middle dancing, and we all like hype them up.
Oh, like a mosh pit?
Yeah, kind of like a mosh pit. And we have a speaker, and we play like music really loud. We all make a playlist together.
Interesting, interesting. That is a cool thing. It's like everyone gets hyped for the game. Everyone gets excited. So, as everyone knows, for elite athletes, especially like you know, playing two varsity high school sports, playing a club sport, you can't just lock in during the regular season. You don't have to train in the off season. You have to work with your team. You have to communicate. You have to stay healthy, stay fit. So, do you have any specific off season routines? What do? Do you kind of just go with club hockey? What's that looking like?
Yeah, for off season, I'm most of the year I just play club field hockey, and that's kind of like my specific routine. But over the summer, I don't have club field hockey, so a lot of the times I'll go to like training camps and like various like college camps, and that'll be my training. And then early in the summer, or no, late in the summer in August, that's when our real field hockey season starts up, and that's our preseason, and our whole team's kind of training for that together. We have morning practice and night practice.
Wow.
So we practice at like 6 a.m.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's really early. And
For
then,
school?
yeah,
You have twice a day in the summer?
yeah.
Wow.
It's our preseason. And then also we have it late at night too at like 7:30 as well.
So you're like nocturnal and like avoiding the heat
Yeah.
during the summer? Wow. That is a special grind.
Yeah.
Do you say during the off season, do you have any like personal workout routines because you don't spend as much time with the team, or like pick up practices with your school team? Obviously, you're always with your club team. Special like diets, anything that really helps you like stay in it for the off season or for the regular season during the off season?
Yeah, so during the off season I've started like going to the gym a lot more. And
Oh yeah.
just training a lot because I really want to get like good before field hockey season, like fall season really starts up, and I want to build my muscles and like just train to be the best I can be.
What's the lifting routine looking like?
So I'll give you my leg routine. So first I get to the gym and I run on the treadmill for like a mile. That's about it. And then after
easy warm up for Tessa.
Then after my mile, I'll go and I'll do the leg presses. And then after leg press, I do this like, it's like this hip machine. I don't know what it's. I think it's hip abductions.
Oh, you go like
like
in and out, like almost like
out.
going from like your hips are 90 degrees,
Yeah.
or perpendicular to your calves. And you go like in and out to work inside and outside your legs.
Yeah. And then I'll also do like squats on the bar and like lunges and Bulgarians and just stuff like that. That's like typical leg day routine.
It's a good leg day. Do you go to like a public gym or community gym or?
I go to Planet Fitness.
Oh wow, okay. All around the world, nothing stops the fitness of Tessa by. Would you say that your off-season workouts have been specifically motivated by field hockey? Has that led to you being more motivated overall academically? Like, oh, if I'm going to go to the gym in the off-season to work for field hockey, am I going to work to be better at school during the summer? Am I going to organize everything better so I can have more time for school and more time for field hockey? I could just be a better, more organized person. Has field hockey kind of made you more organized?
I actually feel like it has, because now that I've had specific times for my practices, I'll make sure that I do my homework either before or after. Like, if I just came home and did nothing that day, I wouldn't have a specific time to do my homework, so I wouldn't be focused and motivated to do it. But if let's say I have field hockey practice at 7, I need to make sure that I get my homework done before that, so that way I can have time after, like, to go take a shower after practice and stuff like that.
So that scheduling structure, especially with club field hockey, might really help you.
Yeah,
It's good to know. Would you say you've struggled, especially with junior year, with balancing academics, field hockey? I don't know if you do any other extracurriculars, managing the social life, still getting sleep, not going insane. A lot of people say teenage years are hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been hard. That's one of the reasons why I stopped deciding to play lacrosse. Because I've just gotten like a huge workload this year from IB and AP classes. It's just like been a lot. So it definitely was hard to adjust into at first in the beginning of the school year. But during field hockey season, I adjusted pretty well because we weren't really getting a lot of schoolwork at the beginning of the year. But now that things have really started to pick up with SAT prep and just preparing for my exams and stuff like that, it's kind of been hard. So that's why I had to walk away from lacrosse because I just really needed to focus on school. And I'm already still playing club field hockey too. There just wasn't enough time for me to get everything that I needed to done. I didn't have enough time for social life, to like play field hockey too, and to keep being focused.
Wise words from a wise woman. Could you go a little more into kind of how field hockey works? Because I know you talked about how there's some weird rules, but I remember watching some games, and apparently my sister might be interested in playing field hockey. That there's like on like corners, there's like people with mats running after the goal, and like the goals are like rectangular but like smaller than soccer, and you play full soccer field. Like how's kind of explain everything.
Okay, so we play full soccer field. The game starts, you have a goalie, either 3 people in the back, 2 people mid, 3 people forward. You can play, I think it's 8v8 or 9v9, something like that. I'm not quite sure on the actual numbers. But so pretty much the game starts with the ball in the middle, like soccer, with one of the teams having the ball. And you can either you pass it back to your teammates, or you can like do a skill or something. And you pretty much just you either run or pass to your teammates with the ball down the field, trying to get in the goal. And there's a couple rules, like if it hits your foot, then it's the other team will get the possession of the ball. Or if your back is like turned to the person, if you have the ball and your back is turned, if to the person, like to the defender, then it's the other team's ball. It's just a really weird rule.
Wait, so you can't run away from a defender?
Well, no, you can run away. It's if you're like stationary and you're just moving around with the ball and you have your.
Oh,
back
you can't
to
like
someone.
box out the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
So does that mean like that the game is always moving, constant flow, kind of?
Yeah.
And sorry.
Oh, yeah. And then if it's not like constantly moving, you'll get a penalty or something.
Oh, so the ball can't stand still.
Well, no, the ball can stand still, but it's just like you can't like try and like you have your back against someone.
You can't like play like like the game King of the Cone. You can't like guard it like that. You can't guard around it. Interesting. And then I've also seen, because I feel like when a lot of people think of field hockey, they literally think of like, okay, we take NHL hockey, we take off the skates, we take off the helmets, and boom, it's on the turf or grass field. But I remember one time I was playing field hockey in middle school, and it was like you can only use one side of the stick.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's like that?
I don't know why they like chose to do that, but it's a completely different sport from ice hockey. And having one side of the stick, it's like a completely different game than playing it with both sides. But it seems a lot harder than it actually would be. You get used to it really quickly, like right off the bat. One side of the stick is flat, and the other side's kind of rounded. So you wouldn't want to use the other side of the stick. Like,
wait, which side do you use?
You use the flat side.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to use the rounded side, like, regardless, because it's just harder to like balance the ball and play off of it. And you kind of, when you dribble the ball, you switch back and forth.
Oh, so you can like dribble on the left side, dribble on the right.
Yeah.
Do you like flip your wrist, or do you like switch hands, or you switch which hand is on top? How do you do that?
You kind of flip your wrist in a way. Like as you're moving, you move it in like a
like a fluid motion
yeah.
back and forth. Does that, like, do your wrists ever get tired? I feel like that would be really hard on your forearms.
I mean, it gets a little bit tiring, but not really. You don't really notice it after a while.
And also, are the sticks, like, because as I'm aware in, like, regular hockey, sticks are pretty tall. And people still have to kind of, like, not bend down, but kind of tighten their core and, I guess, yeah, bend at their hips. Is that even more of a factor in field hockey?
Yeah, so field hockey, your sticks go up to about your waist, so they're a lot shorter than hockey sticks. And you do have to like bend down and bend your knees and really get low in field hockey. That's a big aspect. So a lot of the time, if you're new to playing field hockey, your back will hurt after the first day if you're not like properly like bending your knees.
Could you talk about your successes and failures? Do you have any specific memories, like, oh, I scored that goal and we won the game, or oh, I made a mistake? And obviously, mistakes are mistakes. They're
Yeah.
learning. Got to focus on the next play, next game. But do you have any specific goosebumping, causing stories, for us?
Yeah, so this is kind of a mistake. During practice, me and my friends were kind of like messing around playing. We were just like playing, pretending to do corners where you, and I was like where they shoot it into the goal, and I was there like trying to tip it in as the post, and I was like close to the ground, and my friend shot it in, and it popped up and hit me in the face, and I almost had to go to the hospital and get stitches. It was really bad because those field hockey balls are really hard. So and we had like Yorktown game at 2 days later, I think, or some big game like a few days later.
And Yorktown is the big rival of our school.
Yeah.
Me and Tessa go to the same school, Washington Liberty. They're big rival, so it's like a big deal for that game.
It was a big deal. So I got injured like a few days right before a really big game.
Did you end up playing in that game?
Yeah, I still ended up playing.
Were the coaches mad?
Yeah, they were kind of mad. Well, they weren't really mad. They were just more like worried that I got actually hurt.
Yeah, you kind of like choked.
Yeah.
Is that why you're supposed to wear a mask on like corners?
Yeah, that's why you have to wear these things called corner masks. They're like specific, so that way if you get hit in the face, it won't do anything because it's very easy to get hit in the face on corners because the ball like goes fast and lifts up a lot.
So on corners, it is similar to soccer. Like one person hits it from the corner, and then everyone can just like hit it.
It's a little different. So there's a circle around the goal. It's like a semicircle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's someone on like flat on.
Wait, can you go behind the goal?
No, you can't. You can go behind the goal in lacrosse, but not for field hockey.
Okay.
So there's the person who's inserting the ball, which is basically they're like if you were in soccer, they would be kicking in the ball.
Uh-huh.
They're like on the same line as the goal line.
Oh, okay.
And they basically just pass it in, and there's people on the circle. There's normally someone like who's like closer. There's like they're spread out along.
Are these
the
offensive?
Circle. Yeah, offensive players. It's like 3 people or 3 or 4 people on the circle.
Wait, can there not be just like the whole team? Like,
no.
You can only have.
You'd only have like a few people. I think like 4 maybe.
On the outside of the semicircle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you pass the ball to the outside of the circle, and one person will take a shot. You don't know who they're gonna pass it to. You could do a variation of things. You could pass it to the person on the outside of the circle, and they could pass it to someone else, and they could shoot it, or they could take the shot themselves.
They can't dribble in the semicircle.
Oh, they could if they wanted to, but you can dribble in and pass to someone else. But you have to make sure it comes out of the semicircle, and if it doesn't, then it's the other team's ball.
What do you mean?
Because the circle's like this, when the person's passing it from the goal line, you have to make sure it comes all the way outside of the circle, like towards the midfield, or else
So you can't pass it within the semicircle.
Yeah, unless once the ball has come outside of the circle, you can pass it back in the semicircle, and then you can take a shot or something. But you have to make sure it comes out before.
So the corner is passed, and what passed to people in the semicircle or on the outside?
Outside.
And then they can dribble in, and then they have to pass it out before they can pass it within the semicircle.
Well, before they dribble it in, they have to just make sure it comes out, and then they can dribble it in.
Oh.
So right when you pass it, you have to make sure it comes out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna ask you any more questions because trying to explain this through words, I am so confused. But it seems like there's a lot of like, would that rule be able to make it like corners? You're probably gonna score on a corner.
Yeah, corners are very easy to score on.
How do you get a corner? The other team just hits it out.
If you make a foul inside the circle.
The defense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is there what about out of bounds? How does that work?
It's just like the same as like a lot of sports. If whoever hits it out of bounds, it's the other team's ball, and you take it.
But you can't get a corner for an out of bounds.
No, unless they're like stopping you getting a goal. If it's like inside the circle and the other team like hit it behind.
Like hit it like a deflection.
Yeah.
By the goalie or defender, then you get a corner. But then otherwise, how do you get the ball if they hit it out like past the goal line, not close to the goal?
You just like if you just run after it, or wait.
The ball goes out on the goal line,
Uh-huh.
not near the goal or the semicircle.
Oh, it's just a 25-yard hit.
You just say that casually. Like, what does that mean?
It means you take it to like the 25 or like 15-yard line.
Oh, so you kind of just like take it back.
Yeah.
To like the middle of the field.
Yeah. Also, before, you have to make sure you're 5 yards away from the person who's like passing the ball in. If you have a penalty, you have to be 5 yards. And if you're not
Wait, for a corner or a penalty?
For any penalty, you have to be 5 yards away.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't like crowd around.
No.
And then what's the situation with defenders running out of the goal? Like, how does that? Is that with the corner? So they're trying to stop people from getting the ball in the semicircle and having an easy shot.
Mm-hmm. They're just pretty much they run up and they're trying to like defend the goal pretty much and like stop people from getting a shot. There's one person called the flyer, and that person runs up and tries to stop whoever's gonna shoot the ball.
So they're sacrificing their body to block the shot.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why we need masks.
Oh, okay. Is there no one that comes like no defenders that come from behind?
Sometimes like from the goal from the other side.
Like the defenders, like if they're all coming from in front, couldn't the offense just pass it around till they find the shot? Like there's no defenders from behind.
Mm-mm. No, they could pass it around, but then the defenders would just like reassemble and like reassess the situation and then decide to do a new strategy because there's a lot of defenders that they can kind of spread out and each focus on like different parts of the field. So it would be hard for them to pass it around and get a shot like that.
Got it. Wow. So this is complicated. My sister is supposedly gonna play field hockey. Shout out to my sister Allie. Who even knows like these rules? Oh my gosh, I'm so confused. But you gotta learn them. All right, on to the next question. Something less confusing, less complex. Thank you for explaining that, though, Tessa.
Mm-hmm.
On field hockey, have you had any leadership? Is there a really strong community connection that you felt like you built with coaches, or you've kind of learned about a new community? You said you like went out to dinners and stuff, but has it kind of just been another friend group, or is it a different type of kind of community because you're connected through field hockey?
Yeah, so I feel like we've built up a really good community in field hockey, and all of the players are close with our coaches, and our head coach just left the program.
What?
Yeah, she retired after I don't even know how many years, but she was there for a long time. But
going into your senior year, she left?
Yeah. But it's okay because our assistant coach and the JV coach are going to coach varsity, and they're both really good coaches. And so we're a lot of us are really excited because they're going to be coaches, but we'll really miss our head coach.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, tying that in, are you excited for your like senior year?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be a really good year because a lot of our best players are seniors, like going into their senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean not this year seniors, but they're juniors currently going into their senior year next year. And I think we're going to have a really good season, and we're overall going to be really good, and we're going to try and win districts, and it's going to be a very fun season.
You're not going to try. You will. You will win districts. Wow. I mean, you have a lot going on with sports and life, but you seem to know what's going on. So I want to hear about, do you have any past successes with field hockey? Can you give any advice? Kind of just any final thoughts on field hockey as we wrap up?
Yeah, some advice I want to give to people who are like thinking about playing field hockey or just starting is keep going with the sport because it's overall a lot of fun, and I think you can really grow and learn a lot, and you're not going to be good when you first play it because it's kind of hard to pick up, but if you stick around with it, I think all of you will learn to love it as much as I do and really enjoy the sport.
Wise words from a wise woman yet again. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming out and discussing this. This sport is pretty foreign to me, but I kind of understand it now, kind of don't. Is there any final words or final special moments about field hockey you want to share?
I think that's about it, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Tessa, for coming out, Health Over Wealth, sharing how to stay healthy in a world full of craziness. Having organization through field hockey, a great team, a great community, and a fun game that is very confusing. Do you have any shout outs or ideas, organizations, anything you want to shout out as a sponsor? As you know, this podcast does not actually have sponsors, but in the hopes that we eventually will have sponsors, we want to carve out this time so that when we do have sponsors, it's already here. And we can just shout out things we like. Like today, I'd like to shout out water. 70% of me fuels me, keeps me hydrated, satiated. I appreciate water. And I really appreciate the privilege I think really needs to be right that everyone has water. I mean, you can't even play sports without water. You need it to fuel you. You need to refuel it. Tessa, any shout outs, anything?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Chesapeake Bagel because they were really big like community part for field hockey for us. We'd go there every like morning after morning practice. So I want to give a big shout out. They got some really good bagels, and I think you guys should all go check them out.
Where's Chesapeake Bagels at? Is it a local chain?
Yeah, it's in Harrison Center, Harrison Shopping Center.
So local to Arlington,
Arlington.
Virginia. What's your order? Do you have like get a different order every time? Try new bagels? You got a custom order? What are we looking at?
I get a everything bagel with cream cheese.
Just that?
Yeah.
Okay,
that.
keep it a
Pretty
basic.
Good, guys.
Solid basic. All right, I want to thank Tessa. I had a great time
Of
discussing
course.
field hockey, life, scheduling, and navigation of a hard time of life. Teenage years ain't easy, but Tessa gets through it. Thank you, Positiers, for listening. Dandy day.